Greco.
Dante is a really smart guy.
Ladies love Dante.
I want it there. Look at that face. What's your name? Casey.
Dante Greco.
Dante. Was me, yours truly.
I'm gonna come.
Welcome to the Dante Greco Show. It is Monday. It's the day I just read a report that you're most likely to have a heart attack. It's a Monday.
Really?
So be careful while you're watching this. Don't get too stressed out.
Really? I thought like the day that people most likely have a heart attack are Fridays because usually layoffs are on Friday.
No. I mean, I guess if you get laid off, but you're looking forward to the weekend. Monday just brings all the stress of the new week with it and what may or may not happen. So I understand. It makes perfect sense. Didn't need a study for that. So much news going on. Dante Greco. This is Evie Montevelli, my co-host, my fiance. And we're going to talk about Harry and Meghan. We're going to talk about this UFO news, Apple's VR headset. It's all coming together. Kanye's yelling at paparazzi again. It's a lot of fun stuff. So let's just dig right into it.
That's an incredible show today. Very high tech, very cool, influential.
Oh, this show is jam-packed today. So much stuff. First of all, Harry was absent for the opening day of his trial. That's right.
Trial about what?
His tabloid privacy case. Okay. So like this is all like his whole big thing. And where the hell are we?
They're definitely in the world tool for privacy.
Yeah. Right. I know. Imagine, when you see this new Apple VR headset, by the way, I can just picture Harry and Meghan freaking out because people will be walking around their headset looking at them and they'll be like, are you pulling me up on an app? So Prince Harry skipped the opening day of a huge trial he's at the center of, surrounding alleged privacy breaches via UK tabloids. And according to the judge, it's not a good look. He was nowhere to be found day one of the trial in London. He's the key plaintiff. Like, yeah, I understand the judge is sitting there like, hey, Harry, we're here for you. You made such a big deal about this. Your privacy, them and privacy are like they're interconnected in a disgusting way. So obsessed with their privacy. He makes a whole lawsuit about it. Can't be bothered to show up. Makes me wonder if his heart is in it. Is it him? Is it Meghan? I'm not trying to come down on Meghan, but like I'm starting to wonder with the divorce rumors and with the paparazzi, like all that, him staying in hotels and whatever. Like, is he just starting to lose his nerve? Excuse me. God damn. Is he starting to lose his nerve for all this stuff? Like the lawsuit about security when they're in the UK privacy thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that looks like there's a little bit of a trouble in paradise after that kind of car chase. That was a very bad PR move for them to talk to the police regarding this. One thing is to do a kind of note about their experience, the police or of New York, so they will know. But other thing is to kind of report things that haven't happened. I firmly believe that probably the stress of whoever spoke to the police versus the person, the experience, the other person's like, hey, you kind of made it sound so much worse than actually is. Maybe that kind of created a little bit of a divide in their relationship. But, we all know that they have a little bit of a codependency with each other. And yes, thank you for adjusting the mic. Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. It seems like maybe they are not doing so well. There's trouble in Montecito. And it sounds really weird that he's not showing up in his own court case. You would think that he would show up there, lawyer up, and really ready to go. Instead, we keep seeing him doing appearances in TV shows or the studios. So I think he's more interested in his Hollywood career instead of the whatever legal obligations that he has.
Well, here's the thing about it is that, he's going to take the stand on Tuesday. But the judge wanted him there from the beginning. Show that you're taking this thing seriously. You care about it. He's suing after years of what he claims were illegal tactics used to spy on him as a youth for consistent story fodder. And this case is pertaining to the Daily Mirror, a big UK tabloid. As for why he bailed,
Why?
His attorney told the court his travel arrangements were hindered by security requirements, not to mention his daughter's B-Day party. Lilibet turned 2 over the weekend, and Harry is said to have hopped on a plane to London right after that. Of course, again, Harry and Meghan have kids that are like 2, just turned 2 and 3 or whatever. They can't seem to schedule the birthday parties maybe a little bit earlier so that they can meet their obligations, such as the
Legal
coronation
obligations,
and
yeah.
now the trial. Like, you could just tell a little bit, hey, you know, and like adults do this too. Hey, it's my birthday weekend. Party's on Saturday. My real birthday is on Wednesday or on Thursday, but the party's on Saturday. You could just be like, hey, okay, we're gonna have the party.
I think that's
Friday, so we can fly out.
Yeah, I think that's a middle class thing to do. That I was like that too. So if my birthday fall in any day of the week, my parents will pick up either the weekend before or the weekend after to make a party for me, invite my entire, family for my birthday and friends.
Yeah, well, that's when most people are going to be off. They're going to be off on the weekend.
Yeah, but that's for a middle class. This is a royal / entitled Hollywood people that if it's your birthday, they will stop the world in order to appear. It's a little bit weird that the date that was selected to be his court date to be the same as his daughter's birthday. Yeah. I wonder if he had any saying to a suggested time,
right?
Because I don't know, is there something? Is a suggestion of time that would happen? Or is this something that they just pick for you?
It's a good question. It doesn't say in the article. I mean, I'm sure the lawyer could have at least pushed to change the date. But either way, it's just like
maybe they wanted to, they didn't want to cancel. So do they pick a different date or they decide to go ahead without them?
It's not in the article, but it's just a bad look for Harry if you want everyone else to take you seriously about this. Again, he didn't have to be there necessarily because he is taking the stand Tuesday, but the judge wanted him there for the first day. So that's just one thing going on in their universe. Now, the other big thing is that a report came out last week saying that they are possibly done with Netflix. Like, they're not really going to be doing much more
work together,
documentaries, because they're out of things to talk about. But there's conflicting reports.
Do you think that they, instead of Netflix, they have a better deal than negotiated with Max, HBO Max? Because this HBO probably sounds a little bit more prestigious and probably they have more money than Netflix. I don't know who is worth more.
No,
I wonder if it's they decide to go with a competitor.
No, because what would they offer the competitor? Like, they've already given their big story, which is the story of them.
I think that must be a little bit. I heard on Instagram that this is a little bit of an attempt to redeem themselves with the royals. I think I saw that on Instagram last week, actually. Some person that specialized in royal family from Australia. I forgot her name. I will remember. If I remember, I'll put it in the comments down below on the video. But she mentioned that they're attempted to show reconciliation with the royals is the kind of getting out of the Netflix plan. But isn't they did not get paid ahead in order to produce this content?
Well, of course, but Netflix doesn't want to just keep. Okay, where's that noise coming from? Netflix isn't going to just keep giving them money for the same stuff. I could see them coming to Netflix with an idea, like they just take their documentary idea and they run it through Chat GPT and they're like, hey, rewrite this to sound a little bit different. And then they come to Netflix like, here's our new idea. It's a little similar, but you'll see that it's different. Then Reed Hastings is like, oh, this was written by AI.
Maybe they don't want them to be like reality stars of streaming services. Maybe they thought that they're going to get people's attention and sympathy by doing the documentary. But now they became so antagonized by media and people because they're a little bit out of touch, entitled, and we all know the yada, yada, yada story.
Well, here's what the story says.
Go ahead.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have nothing left to say.
Okay.
According to a source.
They dropped the mic.
That period of their life is over as there is nothing left to say.
or maybe they go into a divorce. They can agree how they're gonna split the money.
That's true
Maybe
too.
maybe Meghan will get a deal by herself that she will be talking about how horrible her experience was dealing with the royals.
Well, the cynics say, hey, maybe they are faking this whole divorce thing so that they can have new stuff to talk about. You never know with them.
So, do you think they're still together, or do you think that he moved to the hotel?
No, I think they're still together. I mean, he might stay in a hotel. Maybe they just need a break. I mean, look, they've been together for years. They had a very intense relationship. She's very intense. He's probably very intense too. I mean, he has killed 35 people. And maybe it's like, hey, you know what? With the kids and everything, I'm going to go stay in a hotel. Give me a break. But of course, so that report came out from one source. And this is kind of the thing with them too. You never know if they're just playing both sides of the media. Because another report came out shortly afterward. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, nowhere near done talking about the royals, might make another documentary.
That's from what source?
Well, they're all secret sources, you know.
Okay,
but this one is actually
how reliable is those secret sources? Because this is Fox News,
well,
and the other one was what, the New York Post.
It was the Sun. Okay, so
I think this is Fox News, a little bit better source. Would you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't. I don't know that I would base that on anything in particular. Just because, like, the Sun is, you know, it's a tabloid, but it's been around. Kinsey Schofield, host of To Die For Daily, die spelled D-I as in Princess Diana, told Fox News Digital that Prince Harry is possibly shopping around the film rights to his memoir, Spare. The Duke of Sussex is also interested in making a documentary about his mother, the late Princess Diana, a source told the royal commentator. The exploration of Harry's past is nowhere near done. So this is Kinsey Schofield. So, again, they may have just put out that, and it's actually a brilliant play. They have a source drop to the media that, hey, maybe they're done. So everyone start talking about it. Wow, they've dried up. They got nothing else to say. Then they have their other source come out. No. They got a lot more to say.
That's what I said.
He's got to make the documentary about Diana. He's going to tell the story of Diana. He's not going to let you, the media, tell it. He's going to tell you the story of Diana now.
We the people. That's what I thought. I thought that they want to shop around a deal with Max, HBO.
Wait. Did you hear anything about Max in particular, or you just?
No, I'm just kind of connecting the dots because HBO acquired a few other streaming services and they changed the name to Max. I think it's Paramount and other smaller companies.
Yeah, it was Discovery and HBO. They did a big merger.
They did a big merger. So I wonder if, like, that increase of money, we all had to re-download the app, which was pretty annoying, to be honest with you, and looks like shit. Honestly, it looks like when I used to have DirecTV. And you're kind of going through kind of the network programming page, like this blue page that looks dead and stupid and like in the 90s. That's the new menu when you enter HBO. So I think, like, I don't know if they're firing too many of the tech people, but we actually have technical difficulties yesterday while trying to load the app. The app would not open. It would freeze it. We had to like relaunch it from the TV in order to connect. It was pretty annoying. But okay, anyways, thinking about new platforms, acquisitions, more money in the bank, more investors. I wonder if Harry is like, hey, let's turn Spare into a documentary. And in my mind, I was thinking about HBO Max because I remember HBO or Max used to be like a leading source for documentaries for a very long time. Actually, I know a lot of people that sign up for HBO prior to Game of Thrones because of their great content for docuseries that, you know, then of course the productions and great TV, then Sopranos, whatever. But a lot of people sign up because of documentaries as well. So I wonder if he's just like trying to get money from HBO or Max, and they have a lot of money.
Who knows if it's just Max? I think that's a lot of assumption, but they could be trying to say to Netflix, hey, we'll take this elsewhere by dropping those stories. I think, you know, making a dramatization of Spare, I guess I would I watch that? Depends on who's making it. If he has as long as it's not like some Lifetime movie, I could actually watch some Spare. This is the problem with that. You think, oh, who cares? It's enough with Harry and Meghan, but then they draw you back in with, maybe they would actually tell the truth. Maybe it would be interesting.
So there's two reasons you can watch something. You can watch something to cheer for it or to see a different point of view or to be entertained. Some people watch because they hate them and they want to have other things to talk about. So either way, they win, right? Because the people are going to, you got to consume it and see it in order to criticize, and people will see it just because they're curious.
Now, here's a question. In Spare, when they get to the Meghan Markle part, does she insist on playing herself? Or do they cast someone that, she would approve of? What does her ego let her do? I feel like she would, as much as she would want to play herself, she would have to say, no, that's beneath a duchess to portray herself.
I don't think so, because it's going to be in a different timeline of her life. It's portraying her younger.
Yeah.
I think they might hire someone that kind of looks like her or have similar features as her. And someone around the age when she met H. So I thought it was so funny how they call each other H or M.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Like, who does that? I don't call you D.
H. No, I know.
D and E.
And they kept trying to make it a thing in the documentary.
Yeah.
And then H just came in the door.
H. And I'm like, that's Prince Harry.
Did he really say M? I don't recall him saying M that
Yeah,
much.
they call each other M and H. It's so annoying. You can even Google it.
She's like, cut. Can we do that, Harry? Remember to call me H. Can we take that again?
Oh, just want to say hi. Hi, everybody that's connected. We are talking about Meghan and Marco. No,
and,
Harry
you know what?
and Meghan.
I forgot to mention also at the beginning of the show, we're also supposed to talk about Taylor Swift has already broken up with this new guy, Matt Healy. We will get to that.
We knew that's going to happen. So stay connected. We have a great show. We're going to talk about tech news. We're going to talk about all sorts of cool things. And let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We're always going to be happy to interact and share our opinions with you guys.
Yeah. So it would be like Ed Sheeran as Prince Harry. And then, what would be good is
Meghan.
This girl who's on Game of Thrones. And then Nathalie Emmanuel. She's also British. So it would be like a weird Inception thing where a British person is playing American Meghan, but it's secretly Meghan's dream to be British. Right? She kind of has a Meghan-ish look.
Put to her face. Yeah, not her hair. She probably has to wear a different kind of hair.
Yeah, well, of course, you style her to look like Meghan.
Yeah.
But her and Ed Sheeran
are
the royal couple.
Isn't he a little bit shorter and bigger? I think has to be like a handsome red hair guy. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna
red-haired actors.
A young man. Yeah.
Okay, Seth Green.
No, too short
As
and
Prince
old.
Harry. Okay,
he's 50 years
if
old.
If they're ever making a parody, one of those
Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah. Prince Harry, sorry, Seth Green.
And Whoopi as her.
Rupert Grint. No, I don't know. No, his face is too weird. It's too weird shaped. Damian Lewis from Billions.
No, he's too old.
Sure.
No, he's too old to play Harry.
Oh, this guy. Harry would probably like him.
Yeah.
Domhnall Gleeson. He was in the Star Wars. We just watched him in the White House Plumbers show on HBO, or Max.
How old is he, babe?
He is only 40.
I mean, that's older than Harry. I don't think
but he didn't look that old. They can always do with makeup. They can make him look out. It's not a lot to choose from either. As we go further down the list, we get to
how about the guy?
Carrot Top. Okay.
How about the guy? How about the guy that plays Steve Hawking? What's his name? The guy that
oh yeah.
He won an Oscar for Best Actor for The Theory of Everything, or what's his name?
Theory of Everything.
Raymond something. His last name is Raymond.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, he could play Harry. He looks
Prince
very kind.
Harry.
Yeah, he's very kind. He's British, so naturally he can probably do the accent.
The guy from Pawn Stars is Harry. Throw a wig on him. Good stuff. I'll have to look him up because I can't remember exactly who. But anytime you suggest someone from Pawn Stars playing a major character is funny to me.
I don't think he could do the British accent, whoever that is, or if that's a joke. But no. But Yeah, I don't know.
Well, whatever. I mean, look, Spare. They're mostly people are going to want to see his
It's not spare.
childhood.
It's spare.
They're going to want to see it about
Maybe
his
you're saying
childhood.
wrong. It's not spare. It's spare.
Spare, and then Spare 2. He probably doesn't even want to just make a movie. They want like a full-on The Crown, but just about Harry's life as the Spare.
Apparently, he watches the show The Crown.
Sure.
Oprah asked him. That's interesting.
You know what? Honestly, I would watch this if they want to get interesting. Get Jesse Armstrong, the guy who did, and Mark Mylod, I think is how you pronounce it, the guys who did Succession. And if they take on the Sperry story, they could make it like in the same way as Succession was kind of like weird and funny. Of course, you got to get Brian Cox in there in some kind of role as like a prince of some kind. They could actually take Harry's life and make
Piers
it
Morgan.
interesting.
Brian Cox can play Piers Morgan.
Yeah. Something like that.
Fuck off.
Just get the whole cast of Succession back together for the Netflix.
Okay, so what else
Spare.
we have to go to the next topic? Are we done with Harry and Meghan for now? So are they so there's speculations they might do a docuseries. The outside Netflix, they're shopping around for Spare.
Apparently,
They no longer
a
want
UFO was spotted near their home.
their house in South Salida, 25 miles. It's not near their home. 25 miles.
25
is
miles
considerable.
away. Which, like, by the way, we read this story.
Is it really?
And you look at it, and that could just be some guy spotted this on Google Earth.
What is that? It looks like a weight from the gym.
It looks like a
gym.
dried reservoir with graffiti on it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I know that Harry and Meghan get clicks. I mean, that's why we're talking about them right now. But still, you can't go with this. Although I will say, because I spoke to you about this privately, in that same area, this is in the hills near Montecito, Santa Barbara, and also Ojai. My own grandmother told me a story of 50 years ago, how she saw a UFO in that same mountain range
in the 60s,
on 2 consecutive nights, like probably back in the early 70s. And there was also we watched a video about this particular Harry and Meghan thing, and there was a sighting by 2 people back in 1969. So, I mean, again, could be military, but, I have a personal connection now with a UFO story in that area. So maybe there is a UFO watching Harry and Meghan, or maybe that's Backgrid. The paparazzi agency has just built a UFO to spy on Harry and Meghan. I don't know.
Interesting. No, I don't think that's the case. But I think that Ojai, I've seen a lot of documentaries talking about that region here in Southern California, that's an area there's a lot of aliens. Isn't that movie that we watched? It's a Hollywood movie that talks about aliens, and it was like do you remember that movie that was with the guy that did the do you remember there was like an alien movie that we watched recently that they were like working in a theme park? It was a cowboy theme park, and then
Westworld?
No, a movie. It's a movie that we watch about
Nope. The Jordan Poole movie. No, not Jordan Poole. That guy's on the Warriors. Jordan Peele.
Yeah, nope. So that was filmed around the area there. So, and there's a lot of historical things. We love things about UFOs. We love conspiracy theories. We watch those interviews with the weirdest people on YouTube when we have nothing to watch, or documentaries. I think we're up to date.
Yeah.
We listen to every Joe Rogan episode that they bring UFO specialists. That area is well known as an area that they have spotting, and they've seen it, objects in the sky and different activities. And so I don't know, but looking like this image, it looks like it's a base. It looks like, because there's a lot of places that they will have like a little base for either radio or activity or airplane, or I don't know.
It could just be like a satellite. Again, I said an empty reservoir.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an UFO. It looks very like old tech. That's a UFO, if UFOs looks like an old tin plate from like, I don't know, the 1920s, then there's those aliens probably don't have the newest Tesla of the spaceship.
Maybe it's like a car graveyard. Like, you know how the people just like the old
Dump
cars just wind up in a thing. Maybe aliens just like, just drop it there, discard it, and let's get out of here. You know what? This isn't way out in like the Sahara. If
This is right
anybody,
here.
yeah, if anybody with a drone wants to go and spend have a weekend getaway in the Santa Barbara area near Lake Kashuma, where this thing was
Dante
spotted.
will arrange you a trip there with wine tasting by
No.
Solvang, and it's gonna be
But
on
yeah, you
his
should
account.
go to Solvang, do some
DM
wine
us.
tasting. But no, just like go out there with your drone and fly it up there and see if you can find what this thing is. That could be very interesting. I will talk about it. I will not help fund it in any way unless you want to
I'm
bring me.
joking.
If you want to bring me, then I'll pay for my own hotel.
I'm joking. I think that's hilarious. I love that they even using Meghan and Harry to get UFO news out there in the world. It's pretty funny.
They made the headline made it sound like it was like in their neighborhood, but it's 25 miles away. And it's like also, yeah, technically this UFO spying on Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres. So
those UFOs could be the TMZ crew inside of there.
Well, that's what I was saying. Maybe one of the paparazzi agencies bought it.
No, okay, stop joking about it. But like, didn't see. I think like we saw Joe Rogan, like this guy talking about the lights, and it looks like a triangle, and people took pictures with their phones. They can see like a triangle flying with those balls like blinking. Is it connected to this, or those are different things?
Again, who knows? I don't know if this one's connected. This was found by some UFO researcher.
What is it? Starbucks cup with Prince Harry on it? Oh no, it's just the picture.
Right. He should just start selling merch. Just go all the way in. And you know what? Again, in my continuing series of advice for Harry and Meghan, they should call the guys from South Park and say, hey, we want to come on and do some voices next season. Keep it under wraps, keep it a big surprise. But like, be like, you know what? We're in on the joke. We get it. It's fun. It's fun to skewer us. And we're going to do voices for you next season. All right. I think that's all on Harry and Meghan for now. Let's keep it moving to
what is the next topic?
There is more UFO stuff. We can either talk UFOs or we can talk Taylor Swift.
Let's just talk to UFOs since we're talking about UFOs at 25 miles from Montecito's.
Okay, so like this is another one of those announcements that's like the biggest thing in UFOs, like the huge news, if true, big if true. But it's kind of just flying under the radar because no one seems to care. An ex-intelligence official came out and said the government is hiding alien technology from Congress, that we have recovered crashed crafts, possibly like the one we were just looking at, and that the government is just lying about it, and that Congress hasn't even been briefed on this stuff. So again, isn't this exciting?
I think it's exciting.
It's just crazy how it's like not people are just like
I think like people are a little bit so I feel like everybody feels a little bit of exhaustion from the media in a way, and because the government is just making this look like oh, we all knew it but we didn't really tell you type of thing. I think people are getting exhausted. And by the way, those conferences when they go talking with NASA official people or whatever, they're so boring. They're very dry. They're not entertaining at all. They should like hire some crazy nut guy that's like, I worked at Area 54 to really go there and entertain people. But because they make it so boring, they make it look like someone from USPS is presenting and answering questions in a very dry manner. People just not that interested. I think like the only way that this could be interesting if Joe Rogan put some of those key people in blast in their podcast, and get more information. But
Area 54, by the way, Area 51 is the government base. Area 54 was the Studio 54 that they built in the Nevada desert.
Let me do a correction.
To have a disco. It was a disco military base.
Let me do a correction. I don't know much about the areas. I always forget about the names. I'm not a specialist in that, but I'm just regurgitating my pop culture knowledge of NASA and UFOs and things like that.
All right. Well, let's read into this article so people can know what we're talking about. A former intelligence official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the intelligence community Inspector General extensive classified information about deeply covert programs that he says possess retrieved, intact, and partially intact craft of non-human origin.
Ooh.
The information's been illegally withheld from Congress, and he filed a complaint alleging that he suffered illegal retaliation for his confidential disclosures, reported here on thedebrief.org for the first time. Okay?
Jesus.
So that's what's going on here. Intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. He claims in a complaint that the Pentagon, other nations, which nations? China, Russia, other nations, and defense contractors have recovered fragments of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin, based on the vehicle morphologies and material science testing and the possession of unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures. He goes on to state that the material includes intact and partially intact vehicle. Okay, we've heard that 4 times. But anyways, he's a whistleblower coming out and saying, yeah, the Pentagon, the defense contractors, which of course they're going to be the ones doing this, and other nations. I would love if he would blow the whistle on which nations these were in particular, so we can know, are they allies? Are they enemies?
Yes.
They have all recovered this stuff. So like every conspiracy, it's just the weirdest time to be alive.
Yeah.
For the last 50, when I was growing up in the late 90s, when the internet was first kind of like spreading
when the
around,
dinosaurs were around.
and it was a little bit more of the Wild West, you would read these conspiracy websites, black helicopters, Clinton, like all that stuff. But then you'd read stuff about like, what turned into be the Jeffrey Epstein type stories. And you would read about the UFOs and the aliens and all that. And it just seemed for a little while like, it's crazy stuff. You grow up, you grow out of even caring about that stuff. Now it's all true. It's rearing its head back in my life. Now, in my early 20s, it's coming back big. And it's just crazy how much of this stuff is proving to be true. Like the Roswell story. Remember Roswell, the first big UFO crash story? I wonder, like, now, do we have to actually take seriously the possibility that it wasn't a weather balloon that crashed, that maybe it really was a UFO, a spacecraft or interdimensional craft, who knows, that crashed in the desert in Roswell, New Mexico, and that we recovered it.
Yeah, we never know. It's so interesting to see that things that people used to call conspiracy theory or crazy internet stuff, like from the old times, from the blogs with the UFOs and aliens, and in Brazil, like this huge thing about Virginia and
Varginha in
Brazil. And
what is it? Can you just give a brief synopsis of that for people who might not be familiar?
In Virginia, Brazil, is like it's a city in Mato Grosso, which is a state above Rio de Janeiro. It's a very rural city. They're basically descendant people that produce a lot of the coffee and milk production in South America. So they have a great coffee. A lot of the pão de queijo, like if you go to steakhouses, they're from Mato Grosso. It's a really Mineiro. It's a very Mato Grosso, no, sorry, Minas Gerais, which is a very good state. Yeah. Anyways, those people, very humble people that live in a small town, were heading home, and those ladies start sensing a weird scent of something that smelled really bad and odd, and they didn't know what was it. But the 2 nights before, or a night before, I'm not sure, a spaceship crashed not far from there. They were not aware of that. And they were looking for the being that was inside of the spaceship. So they saw one of them that was there and made eye contact to them. And it was pretty creepy. It was an alien. I don't know much of the detail of the story at this point. I'm not a specialist in that. I'm just telling you based in my recollection of the news. I was a child at the time. So, but it was really well talked. And they have a picture of a man holding the alien. And apparently he died of like toxic, kind of toxic substance thing that was in the alien contact with his skin. It killed him. A lot of people got sick and died as well. They were in contact with the creature. The body of the creature was retrieved by the U.S. government. They came in town the next day, like super duper quick, and they retrieved it. and nobody knows where it is, who was the contact, who was the people responsible. They have no idea who those people were. Up to this day, the city is now, it's kind of a bit of a joke. You know, you go there and there's aliens, it kind of like Disneyland for aliens, right? Pictures of aliens, pictures of this and that. So they're really exploring a little bit of the UFO fans. If you go there, it's like the Mickey Mouse of the city.
Right.
It's a little bit of a joke, but it's no joke of the life of the people that were involved with that.
Right. So that opens up that the possibility that Brazil is one of these countries that has also recovered crafts that this man is talking about.
People said Australia, Brazil, and I think that Mexico, and Canada and US, right? I think those are the countries that have something, probably China and Russia.
Yeah.
They are the countries that, the bigger countries, by the way. If you think about it, aliens are picking bigger countries that have larger territories to kind of show. It's a little scary to think if UFOs are real, that means that aliens are real. That means that they could be among us. It could be that you don't know, like if like they change physiologically to look like us. We don't know if they're transparent. We don't know if they're evolved, or if when they come into contact with the atmosphere, they die.
They could and should be liking and subscribing to this video.
No, but I'm saying like it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Let's keep going with this story.
But do like and subscribe to the channel and share the video.
Right, alien or not, please do that. So here's the thing that has people who are in the know taking this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
The man, his name is Grush, David Charles Grush. He has bona fides that are worth taking seriously. He's a 36-year-old combat veteran of Afghanistan who was a member of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, the program run by the Office of Naval Intelligence to investigate UFO sightings. Okay? His colleagues think highly of him. He's a man with credibility. And this is from Carl Nell, a retired Army colonel who was also on the UFOs task force. He said that Grush is beyond reproach and that his assertion concerning the existence of a terrestrial arms race occurring sub rosa over the past 80 years. Can you look up what sub rosa means? I just want to make sure. I have an idea of what it means, but I just want to make sure I'm right.
That?
SUB-ROSA.
In what context?
Let's just see what comes up. His assertion concerning the existence of a terrestrial arms race occurring sub rosa over the past 80 years focused on reverse engineering technologies of unknown origin is fundamentally correct.
It means the original spec.
Sub rosa means the original spec script. No. Okay, hold on.
Wait. It's a Star Trek. Actually, it's a Star Trek.
No, that's an episode. Okay, let me look it up. Whatever. Sub rosa probably just means like right under our nose. Okay, that's what I'm gonna guess. Happening or done in secret. Yeah. Okay. Could have just said in secret, Mr. Nell, but whatever. We like it. We like educated people. It's good. It's good. So there has been a terrestrial arms race for the past 80 years focused on reverse engineering technologies of unknown origin, as is the indisputable realization that at least some of these technologies of unknown origin derive from non-human intelligence. The non-human intelligence phenomenon is real. We are not alone. This is a global phenomenon, and yet a global solution continues to elude us. So if this is true, everything people have been saying for many years is also true, that the government finds the UFO technology and reverse engineers it, and that's how we're advancing in technology so quickly.
But can I say something? The government is one of the most least technological, tech savvy organisms in the world. A lot of the technology is coming from the private sector, is not coming from the government. You can even see like NASA spaceships. They look like old blenders from the 1920s, or it looks bulky, doesn't look good.
But the government is
the
always.
U.S. government doesn't seem like that advanced compared to the private sector.
But they collaborate with the private sector.
I don't know. I by seeing the government technology and actually working with the government technology in the tech side, they're like people even joke in tech. They say the U.S. government is 30 years behind any technology company in technology.
Oh, of course.
They're still using Excel 2013. There.
But here's what they do is, and for some of those programs, they use old, outdated programs because it's harder to hack. But here's the thing: they release information into the private sector, like the internet, for example. The government basically invented the internet, but they release it into the private sector. The private sector does its thing, advances the technology, and then they share the advances not only with all of us, but especially with the government. They give them all kind of back doors into their programs.
The internet was invited by the government. It was invited. The internet.
The basics of the internet were invented to so that there would be a method of communication in the event of a nuclear war.
I don't think that I know that the internet was invented to decode the codes coming from the Nazis during World War II, and it was done by the British and was developed further here in America to kind of become the internet as is. But I honestly, I don't think that the government is advanced and it's stealing alien technology to advance us in society. I do think that chemically they probably are stealing some of the technology. But I don't know. You see people working in the public sector; they don't seem to be necessarily tech savvy. You even seen like when the government and the lawmakers are kind of questioning TikTok CEOs or tech CEOs, they don't even know what they're talking about. It's just so
but those are the old guys. It's not even. Oh yeah, and here's the thing though. This whistleblower is making the point as well that a lot of this information hasn't been shared with Congress. So yeah, you see on TV these old congressmen come in like, what's an email? Could you explain that? That's not who they're talking about. They're talking about the Pentagon. They're talking about the military industrial complex. They're talking about the defense all that stuff. So that's who they're sharing the information with. They're not sharing it with just any old senator or representative who's going to be bounced out in a few years, or even any president, who's going to be gone in 4 to 8 years. It's deeper than that. It's super top secret, covert. It's very interesting stuff.
I do not think that the aliens we're not using the alien technology to advance society. I do think that they might be metals and things like that they're using for nuclear power, though.
How do we explain this then? That's the new headset. We're going to talk about that in a minute from Apple. Listen. One disclaimer, I will say that it's also entirely possible that this is just more government disinformation coming out, that for whatever reason they're allowing or putting out misinformation about UFOs. We don't know why yet, why it has
people have
kind of accelerated
for distraction.
Yeah, but I don't know what they're distracting for, unless there's something really big going on sub rosa that we don't know about.
Yeah, maybe something big that we only will know once it's happening.
Because it's not Ukraine, and it's
Russia.
Not remember earlier in the year, people were like, "Oh, they're doing all this UFO stuff because a train crashed in Ohio." Everyone wants to jump to conclude. Everyone has a crazy recency bias, and they just want to be like, "Oh, it's what just happened last week. That's why the aliens are here." No. It's either a real thing or there's a bigger mission at play. I heard a theory once, and we'll move on to the next subject, that, the military wants an ever expanding budget. They always want more money. And so one method of getting more taxpayer dollars is that they're going to stage kind of an alien invasion, or not even an invasion, but they're going to build up this idea that there is an alien threat and that we need to put more money than ever into development of weapons to defend us against that. So, you can't rule that out completely.
Okay. That's funny that you said that. I was watching a show on Hulu earlier today in the morning about the influencers. They're all con artists. They talk a little bit about
the new thing, the age of influence.
They talk the age of the influence. They talk about those con artists coming kind of the ramifications or the copies of Anna, the
Anna
social
Delvey, Anna Sorkin.
Sorkin, They talk about the people that copied them and kind of try to do similar things like stealing money, writing empty checks, or opening fake identity thefts, and then guys that were pretending they know about Bitcoin. They don't know anything about Bitcoin. They steal the money from people. And then he does those giveaway videos on Instagram that he's like, supermarket, always like some shitty supermarket or some shitty food chain, like order whatever you want on the menu. I'm like, oh, okay, $15, thanks. Take me to a nice steakhouse, but whatever. Anyways, and those people, they're con artists. So you're telling me that you think that the government is a bunch of con artists that are trying to get the people money to fund what and to do what with the money, to pretend that we have an alien thing? Like, what are you talking about? You really think the government would do that? You cannot lie to people about investment like that. That sounds completely not like free world or democratic.
I heard of maybe this wasn't a big thing overseas, but about 20 years ago, there's something called the War on Terror. And basically,
from George Bush, right? George Bush,
Georgie, and Dick, they got together. Well, I don't know if they got together, but the bottom line is they played up the threat of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yeah.
And we had to get over there and get Saddam. And so we went over there. We found out that Saddam didn't have these weapons,
but they had
we still spent $1 trillion, and we killed how many millions of Iraqi innocent people and our own soldiers. So yes, absolutely. And they did it so that we could go, they played it up
cheaper,
and that money would be spent developing weapons. I mean, of course, but like how many, there isn't another, the terrorist thing is kind of, I don't want to say dying out, but it's not the threat everyone thinks
it's a new PR. It's a PR publicity stunt for the government.
Russia is kind of, like Putin's doing his thing in Ukraine. It's not really, people don't care over here about that. They need to go to the next level.
So they're saying the next level is no longer terrorists. They're going to use the aliens as a way to get money.
That's right.
Got it.
It's possible. I don't necessarily believe that, but you can't rule it out. Okay. Speaking of aliens, Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
She is, look at that. She's wearing a UFO on her ear. She is already broken up with Matt Healy, the grungy British rocker who makes out with people in every city, or at least he did.
Make out with you in Nashville.
Yeah, now he's making out with dudes. He's making out with random security guards. She's called it quits. And this is shortly after the racism controversy kind of reached the boiling point because of some comments he made on a podcast a while ago about Ice Spice. And everyone was like, oh my God, Taylor, we can't support you for dating a racist, and you're a racist now
she's
too,
very
Taylor.
Career driven, so she said goodbye.
She is as ruthless as it comes. If you threaten the Taylor Swift bottom line, she will kill you, metaphorically. She will cut you. You are not. No one is important in her life. No one is as important in her life as her career. That's it.
Oh, wow. But I mean, he didn't seem to be like a good match for her anyways. They are completely different kinds of people. He looks kind of dirty, tattoo,
like he smokes
and
weed,
weird.
He does drugs. He talks about it. He makes He makes racist jokes on podcasts. She would never even go on a podcast.
Yeah, I think that probably was like a moment in her life. She just wanted to have fun, and it ended, and it's fine. Obviously, this is not the kind of man you would imagine Taylor Swift being married or engaged to. So it was a phase. They're both musicians. They're both in a role. Then I think this is not a good match.
He was a rebound. They'd known each other for almost 9 years. He was a rebound, I think. She thought, I'll have a little bit of fun. But when the heat came in, she probably conferred with her team and was like, yeah, absolutely. Get him out of here. The podcast stuff.
Change her number.
The making out with people in cities and just, his general look and demeanor. He was too wild for her. This wasn't going to be a Pete Davidson, Kim Kardashian thing. She is much more tightly wound when it comes to this type of stuff. Do I think what?
No. I don't remember, but I'm just saying that he's British, right? So he's racist.
Well, he was on a podcast and people accused him of being racist because he like laughed along with some jokes and made a couple comments. You know, it's typical stuff. See, Taylor knows her audience. Unlike Bud Light, Taylor knows her audience. She knows her audience is full of like overly sensitive, a lot of liberal women, especially nowadays. And she realized, yeah, they're already starting. We talked about this. You can go back and watch some shows of ours from a week or two ago. Like they were already starting to be like, this Eras tour is a nightmare. Like I can't. People are on Twitter like, can women of color please give me permission to attend the Taylor Swift Eras tour? I spent so much money on the tickets, and but this disturbing, problematic news about her new boyfriend. She could see in the distance how bad this would get if she stuck with it. So you got to give her credit. She just cuts the cancer out and moves on. So good for Taylor Swift. Everyone knew this would not last. We were kind of weirded out that it even began. Unfortunately, if you're Taylor Swift, it's hard to date privately. It was going to come out eventually. So, she did it. It's done. She had fun. And there goes that guy back into relative obscurity. And here he is making out with a male security guard. Maybe he's happy. Maybe he loves to make out with random people at every show. And so not being with Taylor freed him up to resume his real love. This. Sorry about my voice today. I don't know. It's Monday. Okay. Is there anything else I forget? Oh, yeah. Al Pacino. I forgot to talk about this last week. Yeah. Pacino, 83, having a baby, very old. He and this girl, they both were always at Ebaldi in Beverly Hills. And I'm almost positive that's where they hit it off. Because when I was at TMZ, I would see them not together. Maybe once or twice I saw them together. But like I would not see them together, but they both would eat there all the time. She and her family would be eating there every day. Noor Al-Fala. I think her dad's a big producer or something. And then Al would be there for a long time too. He would eat there like multiple times a week, Ebaldi in Beverly Hills. And they must have connected. And now she got a baby out of him. Everyone was surprised. 83 years old. He was so surprised, he demanded a DNA test saying, I can't believe you're telling me I got you pregnant. I'm 83. So, anyways, the story.
He really ordered DNA test?
Yeah, because he couldn't believe that he was, he thought he was shooting blanks at this point. Story's kind of old, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But I will say,
De Niro also had a baby recently. I think it's kind of creepy. Honestly, I don't think it's a normal thing. I think it's creepy. I think it's irresponsible for someone at his age to have a kid. Also, the amount of probably learning disabilities for someone that has a kid at that age increases drastically. It's certainly irresponsible for him to do that. And he probably is not going to be there for most of this child's life. And I don't know. It sounds very, very weird. But the fact that she just seems like she predatorily targeted him to keep herself money coming in, probably. I think it's crazy. I think it's a very sociopathic thing. Both of him and De Niro's partner doesn't look sincere, doesn't look like a good relationship, and this looks like something to be worried. Imagine if your grandpa gets someone pregnant and now, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, you have a grandpa, he's older, then you have inheritance, you have money coming from people that actually was there for him, taking care of him, helping him in his life, dropping him off of set, or, being around him, being their kids. And now there's this person, just another person coming in here to kind of poke it into his money.
Right. Yeah, no, I would be pissed if I was his kids. I'd be like, hey, you know what? This one doesn't count. Go to court and figure it out. Fight it in the courts for years. All right. We're running out of time. We haven't even talked about the Apple VR headset. It was the big news from Apple's and we haven't even talked about Jamie Foxx, which I think I'm going to have to bump that for a different show. Anyways, Apple, they had their big WWDC 2023, and they did end up announcing their VR headset. It's a mixed reality headset, really, because you can put it on and it'll show you, you'll like be able to see the world around you, but now you'll see like apps and Safari. And
So it's basically you put it this VR. It's like a snowboarding goggle that has Apple hardware embedded into it. So like has the crown to adjust the volume or select something similar to the Apple Watch. It has kind of a little bit of the flexibility and hardware similar that you've seen Apple Watch for the charging station, as you see connected. It's a device that it has like the knitting that you see on the Apple Watch bands. So it seems like they really reutilize their Apple devices as a model for the hardware. So they use the best of all that they have to have that available. It looks like, so you put it on and it looks like you can see your Mac, and then you can also see the wallpaper if you want to. If you want to select a background, you can be in the mountains and near Mount Rainier in Seattle, or you can select a beach and you'll be immersed in that environment while you're navigating your Mac device. It seems very functionality focused. It doesn't seem to be much of an entertainment device. Besides streaming services, you can watch Disney Plus there, and they said it could be mildly interactive. But I mean, honestly, I think that the gamer industry is expecting a little bit more. It looks interesting. I think they said they have over 13 cameras. They can see things from all sorts of angles. You can control, instead of using the little like pistols from the Quest, you can control using hand signals.
yeah,
But if you have like carpal tunnel and you've been typing all day, actually feels very this uncomfortable to have to be doing this movement.
I do like that though, because you
I
can
think
just kind of
it's-
like go like this to move something.
But
know?
I'm saying
You don't
like
have to hold anything.
this is long term is hurtful, because like I do have a little bit of a problem because I work in tech and I type for too long, I use the mouse for too long, that I have this muscle and this finger. It feels tight and uncomfortable, and doing this is not comfortable at all for long term.
Yeah.
I think that maybe different annotations will be probably available in different updates, but I think this is not for me.
Well, it's kind of, but like it's the same as like when you're on your phone and you're swiping through or whatever. I think it's they're going.
We'll see.
for that.
Only trying on, I can really have a feeling for it. It does look like it seems to be like an interesting device to work, to design prototypes, to see things in a 3D way. So, for example, it probably could be good for the game designers or car designers or people that build prototypes of buildings, or architects or product, to really see your product
Or
in a
if you just-
multidimensional way and collaborate on it.
If you just don't want to be looking down at your phone all day, now you can just be walking around and seeing your apps and watching stuff. Really, it looks cool because Disney is partnering up, and it's not just because of Disney, but Disney is partnering up with them to put Disney Plus on there from day one, according to Bob Iger. And the way you're going to be able to watch sports is going to be insane, because you're going to be like totally immersed in
like you're
game.
there in the like front row with the DiCaprio.
And I'm sure they're going to have all kind of camera angles that are like putting you right there in the action. It's going to be crazy. I really am looking forward to that. However, the big thing is
the price.
Not just the price. Have they solved the nausea problem? Because in other VR headsets, I've noticed, you can get nauseous because everything's moving in front of you. Yeah, you get like a motion sickness thing. And so if there's some way that it looks, I'm optimistic based on what I saw in the video, but like if that's an issue, then I don't know if it's going to catch on.
I'm not necessarily optimistic. It looked like it's just a projector onto the VR headset of your Mac. So, for example, you can look at your computer, you close your computer, and you're going to be able to still see your Mac little, bar with all your apps. It seems it's like maybe they're going to kill the double screen market. Like you don't need to have like a giant LEDs cluttering your house or your small space. You can see it through the headset. So I think it's a cool capability to be able to see things bigger. But besides killing the LED TVs or screens for working environments and seeing your computer and some shows, I don't think I can watch a show necessarily wearing that headset. It looks heavy. I know they said it is the lightest in the industry, but it's like, can you really watch an entire show? What if I want to interact with Dante and our faces are stuck in those little headsets? They're like, oh, you can see your eyes kind of, and you look weird.
Well, apparently,
And it's I don't
it'll
know.
allow you'll be able to see people and things in your direct line of vision.
I just don't like how it looks. It looks silly. It doesn't look it looks thick. It doesn't look, I don't know. If you have like the money to spare and you like technology, yeah, buy it. We have the Quest 2, and but I do think long term using to actually, really watch TV, entertain yourself. I don't know. I personally would love if you can wear something like that to the gym instead of like you going to the treadmill. You program the treadmill to be in a journey or some kind of like VR, like I'm going to Mars now. And you can see Mars in your headset while you're walking a treadmill at the gym and exercising and you're being chased by aliens or something like that. Could become kind of fun use of health. They talk a lot about software updates. They talk about like different watch OS capabilities, health integration, iPad. They talk about the Mac Sonoma. And talk a little bit about like kind of gadgets. They're gonna have kind of the gadgets that you have on your phone where you can kind of display
gaming
different
too,
things.
like video games. Certain games you're going to be able to play in Apple
I saw
Arcade.
the game. I saw the game. Like honestly, I think that the Apple gaming experience is very disappointing. I do love to play on my iPad, Diablo Immortal, and I think there's very cool games for the iPad. I don't know. Like, I think like the gaming industry is not necessarily Mac friendly yet. They show a picture of World of Warcraft. It's great because I have a free key because I used to work at Blizzard and I helped develop their game. And finally, I can use it. It's right up here. If that works for my Mac, I'll definitely do it. But honestly, like, I don't know if it's gonna be the gamer headset. It looks like Quest 3 from Meta. It's gonna be the more of the gamer oriented, and this one is for productivity, for streaming services. It looks like very serious. It doesn't look like a fun tool. But yeah, if you want to stream something, yeah. Can you stay there, watch the entire Titanic? I'll challenge your nose bridge because mine definitely cannot be longer than 30 minutes in the metaverse.
I'm curious to see how heavy it feels. Well, anyways, yes, it's going to be $34.99. Comes out early next year.
Not $34.99.
I know.
It's close to $4,000.
The other $34.99.
I think the Apple Care for this product must be like in the 200s, because imagine if one of those cameras break, how much money it will cost for you to kind of send to repair. And I think that how they're going to service that, how is going to be their hardware support. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting the first generation. I'll wait until some of the kinks have been worked out.
If I get a tech job again, which I'm kind of in a way in a works of, I might get one. I'll let you use it. We'll see.
We'll split it.
But I'll split it. But I think that I don't know. I wish there was more of a gaming capability. I wish there was more, but I think that for now it's very interesting. And we know Apple definitely put a lot of finesse in their products in a hardware perspective. So I expect to be a very light, nice, high-end product. Is this the what we're looking for versus the Quest? I don't think so. I think it looks very similar to the Quest. The design looks basically identical, besides the fact that it's as a glass that you can see through. But I'm a little bit on the fence because it depends. You want a full immersion, you probably will get the Quest 3. Do you want something that you can be aware of your surroundings? Then you get this. They said it comes with a headset, but in the commercial where the British guy talks about the functionalities of it, the person in the commercial is wearing AirPods. So do I really need an AirPod to maximize the use and make me really feel comfortable with this? They didn't really mention. It sounds like, oh, we have sounds for this. But then in their own video, the person is wearing AirPods with the headset. So there was a little contradictions there. I found some kind of like mixed information.
Good point. Well, anyways, I think that's going to have to do it for us today. We thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel yet, please do. We do this a few days a week, and like, comment, share, subscribe, protest, take all the money out of your bank, whatever you gotta do.
No, I just want to say something, a message to the people watching. Like, to help the channel, it would be super cool if you could share in your Facebook or your social media and ask people to follow the channel to kind of continue supporting to, the Dante Greco show. It will be very helpful. We can continue putting content. So share in your Facebook, tell people to follow us. Don't forget to leave all your comments down below. Share your thoughts. What do you think about the UFOs? What do you think about the VR headsets? Do you have a VR headset? Is it too expensive? Let us know, and let us know what you think about Meghan and Harry too. Like, what do you think is going to happen there?
Yeah.
Share your comments. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, and as always,
have a good life.
Here we go again. StreamYard, you've done it again.
It's like the graveyard of videos.
The worst frick. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if it's my system, but I cannot get a video to just play if I've been storing it there. Okay, here we go again. Sorry for complaining.
Have a good life. We will see you soon.
Much love.
Thank you.
Love.
All right, Kanye.
So once again, thank you to my brother. Tell him your name again.
Dante Greco.
2 words. Made in America.
Dante, you're doing great.
That's good. I never anybody over in my life.
Listen, I want you to leave my good friend Ringo alone.
My pal, Hal.
Have a good day.